Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to rFactor 2, and welcome to Sebring International in Highland, Florida. So this dropped today. I was on rFactor. I was on Race Department. I was on Race Department for something else in another sim, and I saw a little notification like this just came out. What do you think of it? So I went ahead and downloaded it. It's in the Steam store, and they list it as a workshop item, but it's from the developer of rFactor 2, so I think of it more like a DLC. It's 1050 today, July 27th. It's 1050. I mean, that's the price of it. I don't mean it's 1050 in the evening on July 27th. $10.50 US American, and from what I've seen, it's worth it. I took a couple laps earlier, so we're in the Gibson with the Datsun motor. LMP2, I wanted to go with something topless so we could see the track a little better. So how about less talk and more rocking? Let's take a lap here and see what we think of it. And what I'm going to do is, it's noon right now in game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lap, just a mellow lap. I know Sebring, but I don't know it well enough to really be cutting loose. So we're going to take a lap, then we're going to pull back into the pit, then we're going to hop out and do a replay. So we're going to see it from in car, and then we're going to see it from outside the car. It's the track itself, you know, when we say textures, we tend to think of image files that are wrapped around wireframes to give us textures, visual textures in the game, but there's also the track surface, which is technically, I guess, a texture. And this one's really bumpy, which, from what I understand, obviously I've never driven on Sebring in real life, but as I understand it, it's a pretty bumpy track. And this is certainly bouncing the wheel around in my hands. Yeah, the funny thing about Sebring is the visibility is fantastic, but there's nothing to see. It's as flat as a pool table. You really need to learn the rhythm of this track. And again, I'm not telling you that from first-hand experience, that's just what I've heard. You really need to learn the rhythm of this track because you can't, there are so few landmarks. Yep, I'm digging it. Now this was 1.3 gig to download, which is really big for a track. It comes with 4 configurations, and we'll check those out. We'll check those out after we do our replay. God, this is bumpy. I don't know if you can hear the force feedback. Let's do 2 laps. I'm enjoying myself. 1.3 gig, pretty big for a track, and it comes with 4 configurations. And I also noticed this was different. I've not seen this before, or I'm not saying it's not a thing. I'm just saying I actually haven't seen it before. But I saw a ton of cars come in. Don't need first. I saw a ton of cars come in when it was installing in rFactor. In the, I don't know, whatever that is, like the settings window that you get into in rFactor before you get into the game proper. I saw a bunch of cars come through, mostly GT cars, and I don't know if those were liveries or AI to get the AI cars around this track, but 1.3 gig is little hot. 1.3 gig is that's pretty big for a track, and it's got some decent textures. You know, that's another thing that's kind of weird for us as gamers. Is it's my opinion anyway. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Seems like the best sims, as far as physics, don't always have the best look and feel. And when I say that, obviously, I'm talking about Project Cars 2, which is visually probably the most compelling and immersive sim racing game. But it's an arcade game, and it's not really a simulation at all. Oh, bumps, bumps. Right, let's get it back in the pit here. Ah. And then what I think of as the most realistic sims at the other end of the spectrum is that you got rFactor 2 and you've got iRacing. Both of them are not always the strongest visually, which can sometimes pull you out of the immersion, but the physics are so compelling, it's like, who cares? So, right. Ah. Oh, they gave it to us. Okay, fantastic. So let's hop out of here and take a look at a replay and see what we think. So we go here, and we go here, and then we go here. Oh, that's nice. A little mobile camera. Come on. There we go. And how do we get rid of this? Is it this? It's not that. Well, we'll just go with this. I know there's a key function to get rid of the heads up, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. So I guess what I'm saying is this is, it may not be visually as compelling as something like Assetto Corsa or Project Cars, but I think it looks really, really good. I'm seeing some post-processing and some depth of field. I have no complaints about this. Yeah, this is working for me. Maybe, yeah, looking at that looked like an old airport building in the background there. Yeah. But you know what? If I had to pick, and in fact, I already have, because I rarely play Project Cars 2 anymore. I'm more on the Assetto Corsa and the iRacing side. So I guess where I was going with that is if I had to pick between the quality of graphics and the quality of physics, I guess I'd go with the quality of physics. And then I realized I already have. As good as Project Cars 2 looks, it's more in the Forza and Gran Turismo category now, at least for me. So yeah, man, 1050, well worth it. I'm really glad I got this. And Sebring's funny. It's I guess I'd call it a relevant track. I mean, it's a significant stop on the calendar, but it seems like a lot of sims don't include it. And I know I have a really nice one for Assetto Corsa, and I know you can get one for iRacing. So I'm glad rFactor 2 decided to bring one in also. Yeah, the track is so bumpy, which is one of the things that you hear. Anytime you're watching coverage of any of the races from Sebring, you inevitably hear the announcers talk about how bumpy the track is, and you can really feel that coming through the force feedback. So that's a nice detail. I like details like that. So, next question is, do we want to do a night lap? Because you can see I was definitely challenged on some of the turn-ins in daylight. I just want to show you the track, so I have no problem embarrassing myself trying to do a night lap. Yeah, let's do it. So we'll let this roll through, get back to the pit, and then now this takes quite a while to load. The first time it loaded, and I'm on SSD, the first time it loaded, it took almost 6 minutes. And since then, it's been quicker. It's about a minute and a half. But a minute and a half to load, that's quite a ways for an rFactor 2 track to go to get loaded. So it's clearly a big track. And it's got the 4 configurations as well. In fact, let me show those to you on the way out. I won't make you sit through a loading screen. But on the way out, after this replay is done, on the way out, I will... I'll show you those other configurations. Now I want to race this. Actually, what I want to do is license up in iRacing, and I want to race it with people. Man, it's there's no comparison between racing. Even at the, I just graduated from rookie. I have my D license in oval and road in iRacing, and there's no comparison between racing AI and people. Not so much the quality, but knowing that there's a person connected, and just that like animal part of all of us that just wants to win, wants to like beat somebody, not beat them like beat them with a wrench, but I mean that wants to win, and beating AI is not the same as beating a person. When there's like a living person connected to that steering wheel that's controlling that car, for me anyway, it just makes me want to drive that much faster. Okay, so let's get out of here, and then we will leave track. And when we go to track, this is what we got. We've got the 12-hour road course. We've got the full layout. These are identical, are they not? I don't know what the difference is there. Probably pit layout, maybe, or possibly lighting. I don't know. And then Johnson Club, which looks like, what, the North Loop, and then School, which I would say is the South Loop. So, cool. All right, I'm going to get this set for night, and then I'll bring it right back in. See you in a minute. Right. So, no guarantees, no promises, because this track visibility is not great for me anyway in the daytime. It's going to be even worse at night. I can tell you it is extremely atmospheric and very immersive. Those spotlights, this is super cool. And you know what else is weird is when we endurance race in sim, and I guess it's true in real life as well, but I'm not a real life driver. I'm only a sim driver. When we drive in simulation in endurance races, we start in the afternoon. So by this time of night, we've got 50 or 80 or 100 laps, and we've totally familiarized ourselves with the track, and we have our rhythm, and we have our break points and everything. So it's really weird to just jump onto a track at night. This is kind of crazy. But the lighting is really cool. I don't know if the video capture is doing it justice. But it's very immersive. And I might just tiptoe my way through here a little bit, because this is... Yeah, that's really cool. That spotlight right in the face. And I'm not being an ass when I say that. That really is. It's just got a very authentic feel to it. Like, you got to put the lights somewhere, and that means that from time to time, one of them's going to hit you directly in the face. Trying to remember where I am on the track. Sort of know. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I know where I am. Maybe. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to spending more time on here. This is, yeah, well worth it. Get on that side of the line. There we go. Right. Okay. And back in the pit. Get this thing parked. We'll do one more replay, and we'll call it. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this lighting over here on the right. That is very cool. When I was saying earlier about Project Cars being sort of at least the visual benchmark. Where's our marker? There it is. Man, that is hard to see. Right. Let's take a look. Give me some replay. Yep, it's a keeper. There you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of rFactor 2 from Sebring International. We'll see you next time. Take care now.